Our interview of the week is with two Texas women who came up with a way to solve a major need for healthcare workers on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. One is the wife of a physician. He was worried. As an ER physician, he was exposed to that virus and he did not want to bring it into his house when he was off duty. The other is an RVer. The two came together, and out of that was born something called RVs for MDs. Our guests are Emily and Holly.
Time now for the RV Podcast Interview of the Week. Interesting, entertaining, and helpful information about the RV lifestyle. Here's Mike with this week's interview.
Well, I am really excited to have Emily and Holly with us now on our interview of the week, and let's learn about how this all came about. Let's start with Emily. Emily, it's great to have you with us. Tell us, how did this happen? And it all happened fairly quick, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's 2 weeks and 1 day ago. I was terrified to live in my own home. My husband is an emergency room doctor and sees between 100 and 150 patients a day. And we have a 6-month-old baby boy and a little 5-year-old girl and an 8-year-old with asthma. And I have asthma, and we live out in the country. And you would think that would be the perfect place to be. But in fact, we're living in the most dangerous house, in one of the most dangerous houses in America. So I was terrified. Couldn't get any sleep. Couldn't figure out what we were going to do. So one night my mom said, you know what, why don't you see if somebody has an RV that you could just rent and put it in the driveway so that he'll have a place to live, but stay on your property and not leave you. And I said, well, that sounds like a good idea. So I didn't think much of it. I threw it up on Facebook and said, does anybody have an RV that I can rent to put Jason in? And pretty quickly right after that, our friend Lynn said, I just found somebody. Her name's Holly Haggard. She's one of my best friends. And she said, you can just have it. I said, have it? And I said, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. She said, yeah, it has a bed and it has a kitchen and Jason can just live in it for free. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, as a complete stranger is going to give me their home. So Jason and I drove over there. We met them, super nice couple, put it on the back of our Jeep and drove it home. And on the way home, I was looking at my phone and another post came up and Daisy Brockman said, oh my gosh, does anybody have an RV or camper that I can rent for my husband? He's an ER doctor down in Parkland, Dallas. And I said, I'll tell you what, he works in a higher risk place than my husband. I'll give you the RV Holly gave us if it's okay with her, and I'll go find another. So then another lady called me and said, we can give you our RV. And so then I thought, you know what? I'm a salesperson, I'm a promoter, and I'm a connector, and this is going to be a thing, and I'm going to light this fire and just see what happens. So we did a post, we came up with a name, and we started it, and Holly and I joined forces. We're partners, we're equal, and it has exploded beyond anything in our wildest dreams. The volunteers, their hearts are renewing. They feel like they were helpless, and now they have purpose. The RV donors feel amazing. The recipients feel amazing. You know, Republican, Democrat, nobody cares. Everybody's come together. We've got a team of thousands of people working around the clock. Amazing experience for nothing to make all this happen.
Holly, did you know Emily before?
No.
So you saw this post, a friend sent you the post, and what kind of an RV did you have?
Well, we have a few RVs. The camper that we had was my mom's. It was in the shop, and we had it up for sale for her. But during this time, nobody's looking to buy a camper, and so it was just sitting there. And our friend Len, reached out through Facebook Messenger, and she said, "Hey, I've got a friend. In case you know of anybody that can lease out an RV." And she copied and pasted the post of what Emily had written. And I said, it's my mom's. Let me just check in with her. I'm sure she'll be fine with it. Most likely she's going to say no charge. Don't worry about it. And sure enough, that's exactly what she said. And so I reached back out to Lynn. I let her know they can use it for as long as they want. No charge. Just tell them to pay it forward. This is them. They're on the front lines here.
Now this has gone far beyond Texas, where you two ladies are from.
Oh, it's Alaska, it's Australia. We have Australia.
Now, Emily, let's go to you. You mentioned that you lived in the most dangerous house in America with a husband who's an ER doctor during the midst of this coronavirus pandemic. What was that like?
Yeah, so you got to imagine our husbands or wives are out there seeing sick people all day long, and regardless if they're testing for coronavirus or not, they're still seeing all these people every single day, all day long. And even if their immune systems are strong because they're doctors, doesn't mean ours are. And we all have elderly parents. So we do not want them in our homes. And I will tell you, it has been a strain on the marriage. I mean, I don't want anywhere near my husband right now physically. I don't want him in my house. I'm terrified for my children. I just, so this was like the perfect opportunity for him to be able to stay on our property. We can check in on him through the window. And not to mention the fact it would have been so expensive, even for a doctor's salary, to rent one of these or be in a hotel, because this could go on for a year. I mean, we just don't know.
Now, are these RVs being taken to the doctor's house, or
Yes.
they are
Yes.
they're taken to the house, or could they also be taken to, say, a hospital parking lot?
We really don't care. I mean, the mission originally was for them to be able to live on their property with their families. But in some cases, maybe like in New York City, there are going to be cases where that's not possible. So, we are happy to just get them wherever we can get them. But we're just the matchmakers and the connectors. What happens after that is out of our hands.
Walk us through how this works. I have an RV. I want somebody to be. How does this happen?
Okay, so if you have an RV and you want to help, you're going to join our main Facebook group called RVs for MDs Fighting the Coronavirus.
I'll put a link in the description below.
And you're going to do that, and then you're going to fill out a form. But this is all getting ready to change because we're coming up with a more organized platform. But what we've been doing is you fill out a form, and then we have volunteers that are dedicated to that state. So let's say you're in Kentucky and you're in Louisville, Kentucky. And so we're going to have a volunteer that's going to look at your form, and then they're going to look at another form and see if that we have any RVs around, a couple hours within Louisville, Kentucky. Then they're going to take those two people, message them, match them, and then move on.
How have you and Holly been able to do this? You are both moms, and you work. You have jobs, right?
But both Holly and I have full-time jobs, so we really don't work on this during the day, but we work on it all night long and all weekend long. And we do little calls like in lunchtime or before work or after work. So it's 24/7. We have our teams are literally working 24/7, and these are very skilled professionals. Some of them like executive level Fortune 500 company type people.
Tell us so people can understand. You mentioned a little bit about what it's like on your end as a spouse of a physician who's on the front lines treating this. How exhausted are these physicians around the country and these medical professionals? I've read lots of stories, but the care is going to be only as good as they care for themselves. So help everybody understand that a little bit.
I mean, it's very exhausting. It's exhausting emotionally and it's exhausting physically. Many doctors are quitting. They don't want to put their families at risk. My husband really for the first time last night actually said, I'm starting to get nervous. And he's very laid back and he's not one to freak out. And he was around with SARS and but now I'm feeling that he is starting to get stressed. And it's tough. It's going to be tough on their marriage. It's going to be tough on their family life. I mean, you're basically going to be living as a single mom or single dad while this is going on. And so it's just as hard for the spouse. I mean, we joke because we have to joke to stay sane, but we kind of call it his bachelor pad. And in a way, the RV also serves as a place where they can just veg, which we kind of joke. I'm like, I wish I could move in an RV, that he can just veg and be by himself. So it kind of serves as an escape as well.
Yeah, it's a respite. It's a respite from all.
Yeah, totally.
I want to just thank you guys for doing this. And it just goes to show, as you said, people want to help. And the RV community in particular, I found them to be the most gracious people out there. Differences and everything except one thing, they all want to help. And thank you for putting this together. Thank Holly for us. And we will link to RVs for MDs.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You can find a link to RVs for MDs in the description below. Thanks to Emily and Holly and all those RVers around the country who are sharing their RVs with those who really can use them during this time that we're all stuck home with no travel orders. I'm Mike Wendland. This has been another interview of the week. Do us a favor and on our YouTube channel here, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You'll get notified when we have new videos online if you click that little bell icon. Thanks for watching.